I'm standing at the railway station because I'm on my way to Oslo. I'm going to listen to a speech about Shakespeare, about who Shakespeare really was, because we don't really know anything about his identity. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And the one who is doing the speech is my brother, who has just come out with a big and solid book about this very issue, the identity of William Shakespeare. So follow me to Oslo.
And now I have arrived in Oslo, where the Norwegian Shakespeare Society have invited my brother to this occasion where he can talk about his book, but most of all talk about his knowledge about William Shakespeare's life and whether it actually was William Shakespeare who wrote William Shakespeare. Of course, some people deny this question all in all, but some people are rather curious about it. And of course, 400 years ago, what do we really know? I am not going to participate in what is right or what is wrong, but I must acknowledge that my brother has done an immense work on this subject, and it is, in fact, very, very interesting. One of the great actors in England, Sir Derek Jacoby, has also been very occupied on this issue, and he was in fact the one that inspired my brother to start working on this subject. He has, of course, played many great parts in William Shakespeare's plays, but he also played Richard II in a BBC production, and that was the real start of my brother's work.
So we have just heard your fantastic speech tonight, and you were talking about for 1.5 hours, and I'm so impressed of your knowledge and all the things that you have told us about Shakespeare. But you must have really worked for years. How many years have you been working on this book?
Well, the writing of the book has taken me 6 years, I think.
Oh my gosh.
But I have been interested in this theme since, well, the late 90s. And I started to think more seriously about it around 2005, 2006. I gave a talk on the Norwegian radio about this. That was in 2005, and I've been writing articles and so forth and so on.
And you and now you just came home from London, where you went to this trial on Shakespeare. And how was that?
Well, that was a historic event actually, because it was what they call a moot court trial. And the moot court is something that has to do with the young students who study law. It's the way they learn about, how such a trial works. But in this case, of course, it was as if it was a trial. It was actually modelled on the Court of Appeal. So the 3 judges, there was no jury, 3 judges, and 2 of them, I think, were Court of Appeal judges, and 1 was a High Court judge. And then it was the King's Counsel for the defence and the King's Counsel for the other side, the Crown, really. So, and one of them, of course, then accused Shakespeare and said that he could not possibly have written the works, and the other one said, oh yes, of course he could. So it was a debate in a way, but between the 2 counsels there were witnesses there, 3 witnesses, 2 expert witnesses, one who wasn't such an expert, but she was the witness for the defense. But it was very interesting. It was, of course, in the old Middle Temple Hall very near to Temple Church. So it was the area where the Knights Templar had their center in a way in London in the medieval times.
And there you met the great actor Derek Jacoby.
Yes, and that was special because I've actually dedicated my book to Jacoby. I learned that he was a very prominent Oxfordian, but long before that, I was fascinated by his acting, and he inspired me to translate the tragedy of Richard II. It was when I saw his performance of Richard II in a BBC production that I was so inspired. I went home and I started on the translation. So Derek Jacoby has been an inspirer. He's inspiring. So that was, yeah.
Can you just hold up your book?
The book is here.
There we are. Nice. Thank you.
It's based on what they call the flower portrait, which is really a sort of a portrait that was painted in the 19th century. But then, actually, it was the market director of the publisher who sort of doodled about and sort of played about with it and came up with this. And I said, well, that's absolutely fantastic. I said, because it tells the story of the book. Who was he?
And now I've heard that you are actually thinking of translating the whole book to English.
Yes, I have translated at least 100 pages.
Wow.
But I need to translate very many more. But I have contacts now in England and in the US, and they all know that I have been working on this, and that's. Yeah,
Wow.
That's good.
Good luck on that.
Thank you.
So, that was my little trip to Oslo last night. Now we are standing in front of Easter, and I hope you are having a wonderful Easter time. After Easter, I will send out a vlog about the book that my brother has written, and I have invited him for a dinner next week. And there he will tell me and you all about his book and why he wanted to work on that tremendous project, because it really is. Shall we ever know anything about William Shakespeare? I mean, who he really was, or will it forever be a mystery? We shall find out in my next vlog. Bye.